A very good evening to our viewers at home. Welcome to another edition. It's episode 7 of the Insurance Scoop, Know Your Insurer. It's an exciting day for me, and I think for Eswatini, it should be an exciting day because today we're covering a topic probably that I think some people may say that they're tired of hearing about it, but it's something that we should not turn a deaf ear to because it is actually affecting just about everyone. If it doesn't affect you directly, it does affect you indirectly. We are all feeling the effects. We are all feeling, we've all experienced the effects of COVID-19. So today, we are definitely actually discussing issues around COVID-19, how it has affected us, even us as a business, as United Holdings, and also as humans, because before we are business people or before we assist you as a business, we are humans and we have our lives outside of work. So I'm Simpwe Dlamini. I'm not alone. I am with Mr. Widen Bere, and we also, as usual, we have two wonderful guests that Mr. Bere is going to introduce. Good evening, Mr. Bere. Are you there, sir?
Hey, good evening, Simpwe. It's nice to be here. You say it's the 7th episode. I'm losing count.
Definitely 7.
I'm actually losing count, Simpwe. We have come a long way, and we thank our followers for the support. We really appreciate your support on this program. And today, indeed, Simpwe, we are talking COVID-19, seemingly a very popular subject to be discussing. But what is unique about today's show is that we actually have an external person coming to speak to us about COVID-19, and more so an external person from the Ministry of Health.
Oh yes, that's really wonderful. You know, it's great because it's a dilution to the United Holdings blood. Maybe we can induct him into United Holdings and it becomes part of us. Who knows? Probably by the end of the program, Mr. Smilana would want to say no, you would want to be part of United Holdings. But thank you for joining us. May you formally introduce our guest, Mr. Ekar?
Yes, I was going to go to that, but simply you owe people some presents, some gifts, some prizes, some questions, and what is on our diary, simply before we go to our guests.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ferrer. We do have a weekly competition where we encourage our clients to actually participate in the competition, where we ask a question after each and every episode. We encourage our viewers or our clients to watch the program because that's where you can find the answers to the questions. Last week, what were we covering, Mr. Ferrer, last week, by the way? So that I can remember the winner. I might have forgotten the win.
I simply, you owe people, you promise people, and you owe them. So,
okay. Last week we were with Mr. Love Kundani, the operations manager from United Life Assurance, who we're telling you more about what you can get from your funeral insurance. It's not just about you getting the money and going to provide a dignified funeral for your relative or your friend or whoever, but we give you more than just the funeral insurance. So that's what we were covering. And the question that we asked is that give 3 benefits of that you can get as a United Life Assurance client. We do have a winner, which I'm going to announce before the end of the program. What I would want to encourage our clients to do is to stay tuned and be ready with questions around COVID-19 and pay attention to whatever that we're going to be discussing so that they can become probably the winner for next week. Unfortunately, we have 1 winner this week, not 2 winners like we did last week. But who knows, maybe we may have more winners next week for today's program. But do stay tuned. Do follow our YouTube channel. Do follow our social media channels to get more information about our products, and do write to us to suggest topics probably that you want to be covered, because today's topic came from some of our clients to say, can you cover topics around COVID-19? So that's why we brought you today's topic. So do engage with us so that we can be able to give you what you want to know about. As we are saying, know your insurer. As United Holdings, we want you to get the information that you need.
Quite right, Simpiwe. I'm going to hold you accountable. You must make sure you give them those, because you don't want me to win. I'm going to make sure you give those prizes away to the rightful winners.
What I'm going to do tomorrow, we'll be posting all the previous winners because most of them have come through for their prizes. We'll be posting them on their Facebook channel so that you can see that we are actually giving away the prizes. And I know you'll be a happy man if you see that.
I'm jealous. I think I just want to win one of those excellent prizes. You are giving away so good, these nice prizes to these people. So I also want to win. But nonetheless, Simpiwe, today we've got quite a bit of a long show ahead of us. We'll try to keep it within the time limits. But I think we must get along and start the interview. Right, 12 years today, like I said, we have a representative from the Ministry of Health. He is the surveillance officer at the Ministry of Health. Mr. Tolisimelani, how are you, sir? And welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Berry. I'm well. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be part of episode 7 of your activity here online. Actually, just to expand more, my full names, I'm Tologwake Simelani, the EPI Vaccine Preventable Disease Surveillance Officer in the Ministry of Health. I'm a nurse by profession.
Wonderful. We are so honored to have you on the show, Mr. Simelani. Please do feel free to engage with Mr. Simelani from wherever you are. All you need to do is just put your questions on the Facebook or in one of our social platforms. We also have in the house, this space is quite popular. It's almost as popular as me as the presenter, Mr. Zwani. Mr. Zwani, you are a household name. Thank you very much for joining us this week. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Widen. Good afternoon to yourself, Mr. Simelani, and Ms. Simpiwe. It's always a pleasure to be part of the show. It's appreciated. I think there should be some kind of Hall of Famer for the most appearances, and I should be getting some kind of reward for that. But thank you very much.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for that once again, Widen. Always a pleasure to be here.
It's always a pleasure having you, Mr. Zwane. But I will be focusing a lot of my time with Mr. Simelani today. Mr. Zwane, I'll get back to you towards the end. So, Mr. Simelani, let's get started. We know that COVID-19 has really wreaked havoc across the globe. Swaziland has not been spared in this scourge. It is really sad. We went through the first wave, the second wave, caught us pretty much unprepared. And soon after the second wave, we started hearing that there is going to be a third wave. And I think the third wave is upon us. I'm not even say I think. I am sure the third wave is upon us. In the last few days, we have seen cases rise from as few as 100 to now around 500 per day. What are the statistics showing us, Mr. Simelani?
Thank you, Mr. Berry. Talking to the statistics already, maybe one could say they're not clear what they are looking for exactly in terms of statistics, but we are at 23,707 cases since this pandemic started. And out of those, we've lost 765 lives, unfortunately. And God willing, we've had 20,304 recoveries. That puts us at a case fatality rate of 2.2%. and a recovery rate of 86%. This statistics is at the 27th of the current month, which is about 2 or 3 days ago. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simelane. To put these statistics into context, there was some time back news that we were, as Eswatini, one of the worst hit countries in Africa. Could you substantiate that?
At some point, yes, but currently we are not worse off compared to our neighbors. For instance, South Africa, who are at around 30%. Us at this rate, I think we are not that bad, although it is hitting us considering that was also a very small population. For us, a single death literally reverberates around a whole community compared to other countries where you find that if they lose one person, it's just a matter of that family, because a lot of people are concerned with other things around them.
I certainly agree with you. We are a closely knit society. We, unlike other societies. But Mr. Simelane, COVID, I mean, the second phase caught us pretty much unprepared, definitely, of course, phase one. But now the third phase, had government been prepared for the third wave? Maybe you would want to enlighten us a bit on that.
The preparations for things like this, it's very difficult to say you are fully prepared, because you realize that when we started, there was a particular variant, and as things continued, another variant came up. Now we're talking about a lot more variants in circulation. So you cannot say you are adequately prepared for a pandemic of this nature. But otherwise, having said that, the government, yes, has done something, has taken major steps in terms of making sure that at least if it comes like it has come, it causes minimal damage, unlike when one is not prepared. It is prepared in that before the third wave came, we were able to have a lot of kiosks distributed around the country, strategically placed in readiness of testing for those that need to be tested. And also the government also worked on improving the health infrastructure in terms of now COVID-19 facilities around the country, including ICU beds, including the capacity for oxygen. You can name a lot of things, including the ultimate intervention, that of vaccines. As you know, that we started enrolling vaccines in March, and now this time around, I think yesterday, we received our biggest consignment thus far of more than 300,000 doses of Johnson & Johnson.
You have touched on my next question, actually, which is the issue of vaccines. I guess that is the next best thing government could have done. And you did mention that this is the second tranche of vaccines that we are receiving. How many vials have we received, and how far are they expected to go?
For the current consignment that we've received now, it's just about 300,000. And we know that Johnson & Johnson is a single dose candidate vaccine, which means that the number of doses that, vaccines, vials that we've received is equal to the number of people that will be given. And we'll also then factor in things like the wastage rate, because you find that some doses will be lost in one way or the other, because there is the issue of cold chain, there's the issue of contamination, and there's the issue of moving from one side to the next. For various reasons, we tend to lose some doses along the way, but we are sure that even that may be, we're going to be having more than 300,000 people inoculated with the current consignment. and putting it in mind that before the end of the coming month, which is August, we'll be receiving more doses, maybe from a different vaccine candidate as well.
That is a very good news for the country, I think, Mr. Smelani. The first, if I remember well, the first tranche we received was actually targeted at essential services. This time around, is there a special category that is being targeted for this lots that's coming?
The ministry, before we started the vaccination exercise started, sat down and developed a vaccine deployment plan. You will recall that we talked about stages, stage 1, 2, and 3, whereby stage 1 was targeting healthcare workers in their numbers, which is what happened. But as up to date, there are still some healthcare workers that have not received this vaccine. But this one, judging by the consignment, it's going to take us quite a long way, in that now we're actually fully in stage 2, whereby now it's all those that are in their various, it will be the corporate like yourself, banks, industry workers, prisons, the armed forces, a lot of people, especially those, the working class in general, let me put it like that. Those are the people that will be targeted, and those with comorbidities.
I am sure this was a welcome gesture indeed from the government, and we are trusting that this rollout will go out smoothly. But I want to possibly talk about something that words that is on the street, Mr. Smelani. There is people who seem not to trust that vaccines are here to indeed help us, because some stories have been heard that regardless that somebody gets a vaccine, they still fall ill. Could you educate us about
that? True as it may, that those that are vaccinated, they still get infected. But we should also take cognizance of the fact that the one that is vaccinated stands a better fighting chance now from going into severe illness should they get infected. Like they now have decreased levels or chances of even transmitting the virus to other people. It actually arms your body with a better chance of not only fighting COVID-19 virus, but other flu-causing viruses. So in short, the benefit of getting vaccinated outweighs that one of neglecting yourself and not vaccinating.
So I've gotten vaccinated. Now I am safe. I don't need to mask up, Mr. Smelani.
You still have to adhere to the COVID-19 regulations. Like I've already said, that being vaccinated, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot get infected and even show some symptoms. It only gives you a better fighting chance in that compared to someone with the same health profile as yourself who's been vaccinated versus the one that has not been vaccinated. So it is important that even if you are vaccinated, you still have to mask up, you still have to maintain a good personal hygiene in that you wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or sanitizer, and keep social distancing as it may.
Yeah, I think they need possibly a lot of training or a lot of education of the people in terms of that, Mr. Smelani, because a lot of people do not understand or appreciate what you are trying to explain to us right now. So we still need to take all the necessary precautions. So, Mr. Smelani, can a person, since people are encouraged to get tested, do we have, what we have noted is that the cost of getting tested is quite high, particularly with private laboratories. But we have government-appointed institutions that help people who want to get tested, who want to verify whether they are positive or not.
That is a very pertinent question, Mr. Bere. Contrary to testing as a main strategy in other diseases like HIV, for instance, in COVID-19, testing becomes effective if it is targeted to special populations or groups. Like, for instance, those with symptoms. In our case, it's designed such that those that are eligible to test are those that present with symptoms that basically meet the case definition for COVID-19, and those that are conduct to people who have already been tested positive. This is so because if the test is negative by the time of swapping or testing, someone who's not feeling anything may actually be deceived and create a wrong impression about negativity, which cannot be guaranteed. Therefore, those meeting the case definition can test in hospitals, clinics, and kiosks, which are actually strategically placed around the country. And the list can be shared on maybe if need be. But like I say, it's not testing on maybe like you like to test, but you are tested on evaluation by those that are adequately informed on who to test and why to test. But if you are testing for other purposes like traveling, like maybe you just want to know your status, that way, then now you need to pay. But if you are testing because a health worker deems you necessary to test, it's a free of charge service in government institutions.
Thank you very much for explaining that. I am also not so sure that this message has been well disseminated to the people that you can actually get tested, provided, of course, you meet that criteria to get tested. You are not just going to test because you want to know, but if you are suspected that you could be positive or you were exposed, then you can get tested, and it's for free. Thank you, Mr. Simelane. Now, I want to go back as maybe a step back, and let us look at the do's and don'ts of COVID-19. This could be sound like a rhetoric question or a rhetoric discussion, but it seems like that people are not thoroughly following through, because the increase in number of positive cases indicates that people probably are not following through on the recommended behaviors. What are the do's and don'ts?
Thank you, Mr. Bere. Yes, it might sound rhetoric, but it's the most effective means of combating this pandemic. What one needs to know, the standard precaution stands the same, that is of maintaining social distance at all possible times, washing hands with soap and running water, or using the sanitizer. And then also, before touching surfaces, you need to sanitize, and after touching surfaces, you need to sanitize, as well as avoiding now unnecessary travel, because we know a lot of people our community travels around a lot. We visit relatives, we attend functions, but now we need to consider if it's worth traveling before you travel. It's very important. And also avoiding large gatherings, because that's where we actually refer to them as super spreaders. And then lastly, but not least, my personal recommendation is to make sure that you stay on a balanced diet and exercise regularly.
Mr. Simelane, I don't know if you have an answer for me for this next question. I'm referring to the increased number of positive cases. of late. Can we explain why? Because in one day we had an increase from 200 something to 500. Are we able to ascertain why this rapid increase? Is it because of the variants that we currently are going through? Is it a matter of the variant that is more contagious, or is it simply because people are not following the suggested precautions?
It's a couple of factors that come into play when you're looking at how things play out in terms of the number of infections per day. Like for instance, I mentioned gatherings, which are referred to as super spreaders. You have one person attending a large gathering. By the end of the day, you'd find that over 100 to 200 people will be infected in that gathering, depending on the number of people that attended and interacted. And also, basically, it comes down to neglecting the COVID-19 regulations, where people now, like for instance, they're sharing the same office, they feel when they are with their colleagues, they cannot put on the mask. This is not necessarily, a mask is not a fashion statement, but it's basically a preventative measure. We know if you walk around town, you find that people are wearing their mask in a stylish manner, having their noses out, or maybe they're even wearing it below the chin. In that way, that person is basically not protected. They will get infected, they will also infect other people. So it's a number of factors. A lot of times when you get a spike, there is always an event that it can be related to where people attended, more often than not.
So people really need to make sure that they follow through on these recommendations. That is the only way we can curb the increase in number. Now, what I have noted as well, Mr. Simelane, is that it seems that the biggest impact is on the elderly and those with other diseases. And there is a tendency by those who think that because they are young, they do not necessarily need to take precaution.
That is an unfortunate perception if it's there. But yes, even if you are young, you have an elderly relative. Even if you are young, you will have a relative that might not be old, but has comorbidities in their system. They need protection. They rely on us. They rely on everyone. This should be a united effort to fight this disease so that everyone plays their role. You don't necessarily to be selfish to say if you are to consider yourself as a healthy and safe person and then neglect protecting the next person. But again, having said that, the variant that is currently circulating in South Africa, and maybe it's already in the country, we cannot be too sure, is even deadly to younger people as well. So it's very important that everyone plays their part in this particular instance. We don't want to lose people. And for that to happen, we must make sure that we stick to the required COVID regulations wherever they apply. When you are with people, maintain social distance. When you are going out of your house, you put on your mask for it's not only for your protection, but it's for protecting the next person. Before you touch a surface and after touching whatever, you wash or sanitize your hands and make sure that you don't travel unnecessarily.
So if I hear you, Mr. Simelane, it is everybody's responsibility. Managing COVID is a national effort that everybody has to participate in, young or old. Even if you think you are healthy and it will not kill you, but you may be exposing your elderly grandmother or grandfather, who then will be a loss to you and the nation. Thank you very much for explaining that, Mr. Simelane. I want to look at what the impact has been of COVID-19 to the nation?
The impact is huge. As you may know, that there have been disruptions in many aspects of life due to COVID-19, like the loss of working hours due to illness or due to lockdowns or suspension of work. There's been reduced productivity. We've experienced and we're currently experiencing school closures. You may count, the list is endless, but the full extent has not yet been investigated. There is need for evaluation studies, which would help to quantify the actual impact in a form of like cost effectiveness studies that will actually make a breakdown the impact in the different levels.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simelane. At this point in time, Mr. Simelane, I want to find out from Simpiwe whether we have any questions on Facebook.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrer. For now, we do not have any questions. I'll try to check as we go along the program, but for now, we don't have any questions yet.
All right. Just to ask our viewers, please do ask those questions. Today, we have Mr. Simelane from the Ministry of Health, who is here to answer your questions on COVID-19. But Simpiwe, thanks very much. I'm going to now also speak to Mr. Zwane. Mr. Zwane, are you there?
I'm always here, Mr. Perez.
All right, welcome back, Mr. Zwane. Mr. Zwane, similar question. COVID-19 second phase caught us pretty much unaware as a business. We are now in the middle of the third wave. Are we prepared as United Life Assurance?
Thank you, William. As Mr. Simelane has said, the remedies towards fighting COVID have not changed. We still have to wash our hands, keep social distancing, avoid traveling a lot. I think the second wave taught us a lot on how best to do those things. From our offices, we have intensified our screening processes. We no longer rely on the, remember the gun, don't have the gun only anymore. We do other measures to ensure that people are fine so that we limit transmissions within the business. In as far as client servicing is concerned, I believe that we are ready. To those who were unfortunate to come over to our premises during the second wave, could notice how much of commotion there was, particularly when it came to servicing customers. For this particular one, I think we are ready. Unfortunately, we are ready for a bad situation, which is very, very, very undesirable. But I think we are ready this time. We did spread out our services throughout our 12 branches, which will include the call center. Yes, I believe we are ready, and we always work hand in hand with the Ministry of Health, taking in advices should those advices be made available.
Thank you, Mr. Simelane. I suppose you could possibly go a bit deeper into what specific actions you have taken. I hear you have mentioned that our branches are also ready to receive any claim cases. Would you like to go into that? What has changed from last time where we were caught unaware and now that we are in the middle of a third wave? How prepared are we? What have we done differently?
Okay, in the past, when a person would claim, even if a person is from an area called Nsangweni or Pikspik, they would have to travel to our Manzini head office, which was where we had centralized our claims process. Which means no matter where you came from, you definitely need to come to Manzini to put forward a claim. We have since decentralized our claims payment processes to all our branches. Like if you're at Nsangweni, you can go to the Pixpic branch. If you're at Endlalambi, you can go to our Bushani branch. If you're in Pshewule, etc., etc. We've decentralized that just to limit the commotion. And we have fully capacitated our call center to give people advices on how best to do the claim. You know, in the past week, a person would come all the way from Hlatikulu to Manzini just to ask what is needed for you to put forward a claim. Then they go back to Hlatikulu to get those documents. Then they come back again. Hence, we have availed our toll-free line, which is 800-1010, whereby our customers can be free to call in before they come over, so that they make only one trip instead of the multiple number of trips they would make in the past. But so far, I think we're having everything in good order.
Thank you, Mr. Zwani. What has been the impact on the insurance industry in terms of COVID-19 claims?
Okay, thank you. Okay, if I may go a bit technical on this one. COVID-19 has brought us a phenomenon we cannot really estimate. We cannot really handle as much as we could handle other pandemics, if I may say so. You know, when issuing out an insurance policy, if I say you will pay only 10,000 Malangeni for a 50,000 Malangeni, 10,000 Malangeni cover, sorry for that. We estimate that the mortalities are going in a certain way, hence the 10,000 cover for 24 Malangeni would make sense. But COVID gave us a phenomenon we cannot really understand fully. We are talking about the third and fourth wave. We can't be sure of the non-existence or existent of the fifth or sixth wave. So it gave us those uncertainties, and it's always bad for us to then shift those costs to our clients. Hence, we have to play with the dynamics. That's on the technical side. But on the claim side of things, we've I think the hardest hit was in January, which we paid more than 7 million claims in less than 30 days, which is very, very uncommon. Some companies pay 7 million the whole year. We just paid it in less than a month. And then when it comes to the current wave, not sure by third or fourth, we are also experiencing a sharp increase in the claims being put forward. It is a concern for us because we are seeing Eswatini pass away, which is not a very, very good idea, or rather a good idea per se, a good thing to witness. It's always said when you see, because Eswatini is a very, very small country, you are almost related to the next person. So to see them pass away, it's never a good idea. Hence, we are just there to at least cushion on the financial side of things, trying as much as possible to settle the claims in 2 hours. And if that customer will be using a funeral home, it becomes an instant payment, which means that you don't have to wait for 2 hours for the claim to be paid. It's paid instantly. That is how efficient we have turned out United Life Assurance. But the claims, yes, they are rising. We have our ducks in a row. Unfortunately, we will have to implement a work from home schedule, so that should one of our consultants working in the office get infected of COVID, we can be able to be in a position to rotate the staff and keep the service going, because the customers will keep on flowing in.
So, brilliant, Mr. Zwani. It seems like United Life Assurance have their acts together this time. One thing that happened around January, Mr. Zwani, very unfortunate indeed, was a rumor that United Life Assurance is probably running out of money and will not be able to pay claims. Do you want to assure our customers on how formidable we are when it comes to paying claims?
Thank you, Eden. We are very, very formidable. Unfortunately, we cannot have a room full of cash whereby you can assure the customers, listen, here we go, we have all the cash. But on the other hand, we will want to assure our customers that we are a fully licensed and regulated company. We do have the Financial Services Regulatory Authority, who always keeps an eye on us to make sure that we do not lose our capacity to pay claims. As of the end of Q2, which is 30 June, we have been evaluated that we are more than capable to settle any claim that may come through our way. We don't have those problems. I think the uncertainties which were there in January were caused by the fact that we couldn't quite match the promise of settling our claims in 2 hours. And if people do not get the right information, they make the wrong assumptions, which is common in every situation. But I can assure that we are fully solid, we can settle claims, and the customers, they are more than free to do their due diligence with the Office of the Regulator, which is very, very important, especially in this day and age, to make sure that the regulated company is able to perform their duties. But yeah, I can assure you, we're solid. We can settle all claims that can come through.
Thank you, Mr. Zwane. There you are, viewers. Mr. Zwane assuring you that United Life Assurance has got a solid financial footing and all your claims will be paid. All your valid claims will be paid. Mr. Zwane, talking about valid claims, we have had cases where people want to claim. Unfortunately, death always comes as a surprise, but their policies are not valid. Would you like to talk about that and possibly give a few examples that will explain to our customers why they need to be up to date with all their payment or their premiums?
Okay, thank you, Eden. The invalidity of claims is a very, very painful thing to deal with, but it's a subject that we have to talk about because it's a reality. For funeral business or funeral insurance business, which is, I believe, the most simplest form of insurance there is, a Eswatini call it like it's a helping hand to bury someone. For our business, the main issue for a claim to be invalid is the payment of premiums. First of all, because it's a product that has legal underwriting, we impose what is called a waiting period. Waiting period means that if you open up a policy today, you have to pay for at least 6 months before you can be able to claim under the policy. What will normally happen is that you'd find people coming through to pay just because a person is now terminally ill. And then they come to claim if the policy is only 4 months old. And then that claim will be invalid, whereby we convey our condolences and apologize that we cannot help on that one. That is one of them, the waiting period. Another one is a situation whereby people pay for, say, for 1 or 2 years, and then they make a decision to abandon the payments on the policy. Just stop paying. And if you stop paying, say you stop paying for the past 10 months, if I may say so, and then if the person is in hospital and there is very little hope, then they come to settle the arrears, hoping that if the person would die tomorrow, the policy will be fully paid up and the claim will be paid out, which is unfortunately not the case. If you close a gap of about 8 months or even 3 months going backwards, you are subjected to a 3-month waiting period. We say your policy is suspended. Unfortunately, in that case, again, you cannot be assisted. There are many others, but I think the waiting period issue and the non-payment of premiums, those make the bulk of the non-authentic claims that we get to be faced with, and we unfortunately have to decline cover from our customers, which is something we do not want. Hence, we do send what we call age analysis. We do send communication monthly to all customers who would be in areas, ask them to come over to our branches or call center to settle, because rejecting a claim is a very, very undesirable thing to do. we'll be sending another one on the 15th of August. We sent it in July, but customers, please do use our call center to confirm if your policies are in order before you get surprised at claim stage. Yes.
Indeed, Mr. Zwane, I think that is an unfortunate thing to do, to have to reject a claim. But viewers can ensure that at all times their claims are up to date. If you are doubting and you just want to make sure your claim is up to date, you can call our call center on toll-free number 800 1010. 8001010 and make your inquiry, and they will tell you in what state your account is. Mr. Smelani, I'm sorry, Mr. Zwane, thank you very much. I see Mr. Smelani, we might have lost Mr. Smelani Simpiri.
It looks like we have lost him, and unfortunately we have some questions from him. I'll try to get hold of him while you finish up with Mrs. Wan. All
right, please do. So, Mr. Zwane, maybe in winding off with you, you possibly could also touch on the issue of, you touched on it in passing. I would like you to maybe dive a little bit into it, whereby a claim, you can choose as our customer, you can choose to be paid whatever you are entitled to under your claim, and you can take the service elsewhere. Or alternatively, you can choose to take the option to get service from dupes.
Thank you, Eden. Okay, as an insurance company, our obligation is to settle all claims using cash. Cash does not mean the treasury note or the note from the central bank. It could be EFT or other payments. What we have done as United Life Assurance is that because the interchange of money, particularly if it's not hard cash, it becomes a bit slow sometimes for the liking of the family or the dependent. What will happen is that if you come through to claim, we do have an option for you to allow ULA to pay for your dupes services directly. What do I mean? Because we do not get to choose the funeral parlor for the family gets to elect their own funeral parlor. If they elect dupes and say they've got a 20,000 Emalangeni policy, they elect dupes, and good dupes, they elect a 15,000 Emalangeni service. What we would do, we would make an instant payment from ULA to dupes of 15,000 Emalangeni, and then the change, which is the 5,000 Emalangeni, will go to the beneficiary's bank account. If the bank account could be effective, if it's 5,000, we can also pay through what we call the e-wallet. And I can confirm that we're making other advances to even migrate to Momo, but that is still under development. For now, we can pay you through EFT or e-wallet, depending on the amount you've got. However, as I mentioned before, that we do not get to elect for you the funeral service provider. If a customer comes through and says, this person has passed away, but we will not be using dupes, there is no crime in doing that. You are fully, that's within your rights. Perhaps you want to go to Sakile Zwane funeral parlor, that's okay. Unfortunately, if we don't have, if ULA doesn't have those ties with Sakile Zwane funeral parlor, for that 20,000 policy I talked about earlier, we pay the full amount through EFT to the beneficiary. Then the beneficiary will do the settlements with the funeral parlor. However, what I would like to urge from our customers is be alive to the differences in the bank payment structures. For instance, if I am paying you from an FNB account and the beneficiary uses another bank account, another bank, say your net bank, Eswatini bank, and all that, the transfer of funds could take longer than you might want to appreciate. Hence, we urge our customers that if they would not be using dupes or using other funeral parlors, if they would want to have their funds in their accounts faster, may they come on or before Thursday, because the banks, when it comes to weekends, they're a bit unpredictable, and then it places like us, like we are very, very slow in paying, which is not particularly the case, because that front we cannot control at the moment. We do ask our customers to make their claims as early as possible, so that they avoid the rush of end of the week and all those things. So that is where we are with the payments. We do not get to choose the funeral parlor you choose, but we can make it easier for you if you choose dupes. And of course, we do have those discounts if you're using dupes, 5% or 5% on the casket or coffin, free storage and free collection from anywhere within Eswatini.
Perfect, Mr. Zwane. But one other rumor that circulated was that if the cause of death is COVID-19, then there is some charge that you will be exposed to under your claim, or you may not be entitled to a full claim. Is that fact or fiction?
It's 100% fiction. Within it's very, very, very far from the actual facts. With COVID, we've got two claim types of causes of death in our classifications of what caused the person to pass away. We've got natural death, we've got accidental death. Those are just the two. Under accidental death, you've got your stabbing, you've got shots, car accident, snake bite, crocodile bite, hippo bite, all those things. That's also an accidental death, whereby if you've got a 10,000 policy and you die accidentally, you actually get double the benefits, KULA. If you've got a 20,000 cover and you die in a car accident and you're the main member of the policy, we pay 40,000. So if you've got a 50,000 cover, we actually pay 100,000 if it's death by accident. And then there is natural death, which is due to sickness, including COVID, because COVID is sickness. We pay as per the policy. There are no half payments, there are no three-quarter payments. We pay as per the policy. There are no extra charges, because you might appreciate that with insurance, at claim stage, we don't charge, we pay. So, and then we cannot pay less than that. And should there be anyone who feels aggrieved, they can come through. We are open to scrutiny. They can also have the ombuds of financial services. They can confirm with that. With insurance, what was not said at inception of the policy can never be applied at the claim stage. If at inception we said we're going to pay 10,000, we cannot change at claim stage. Listen, let's give 9.2 and talk about the 8. We cannot do that. Hence, that assurance I'm giving to customers is that whatever we promised you at inception, we will deliver at claim stage.
Thank you, Mr. Zwane. It has been a pleasure having you. I just want to sum up and say, one, you will, whatever you're entitled to, you will get when you claim, provided you have been servicing your policy and it is up to date, you have not defaulted. United Life Assurance under United Holdings is not ever, in this case, going to fail to pay claims, regardless which way the statistics fall. We had today Mr. Toli Simelane from the Ministry of Health sharing with us some of the critical statistics. And the numbers are increasing. And whilst we pray that the casualties will remain low, it might be inevitable that there will be a high casualty rate as we experience in the second wave. But the business here, United Life Assurance, has got a strong financial base and it will not fail to pay claims. Simpiwe, I don't know if you have questions that you think we should look at.
Thank you, Mr. Barry. There's a question from Senani, Senigwala. She's asking that on the premium issue, what if I pay a lump sum of 6 months all at once, apologies, all at once in 1 month, and then it becomes unfortunate that my dependent passes on the third month, can I claim the amount?
Sorry, dependence passes on.
Before the waiting period finishes, the 6 months waiting period finishes, and
Okay.
they have paid for the 6 months, what happens? Can they claim?
Mr. Zwan.
Okay, thank you, Simpiwe. Perhaps I should start on that. The waiting period only applies to death by sickness. If the death is by accident, this client can definitely claim for the sum assured, that is for accidental death. But for sickness, unfortunately, they cannot claim because, as I stated before, the waiting period is 6 months. However, the only amount they might be in a position to receive is the premium refund for the extra 3 months, whereby the person was already gone, because you cannot take premium for the person who's no longer alive. So it's twofold simple. If it's accidental death, yes, you can claim. If it's natural death, unfortunately, they will not be in a position to claim.
So, Mr. Zwane, sorry, my apology. Mr. Zwane, what you are saying is that the waiting period is not meant for the business, ULA, to accumulate money out of the customer before they can claim. So even if you pay the 6 months premium, it is not about the money that you have paid, but about the waiting period to protect the business, which is a common fund, according to what you discussed the last time we talked about this in depth, which is a common fund which is supposed to benefit the pool of people who are there. But if somebody then comes in and just claims without serving the period, or like you said earlier on, they plan that, this person is very sick, let us get police cover for them, then they claim. Is that correct from a layman point of view?
In a nutshell, yes. In a nutshell, yes. Okay, but perhaps I wouldn't say people are scouting for sick people, then taking covers for them. But since it's a common fund, we just make these rules so that they can apply in a just way to everyone, so that it's fair to everyone. Because we do not take any blood tests, we don't take any medicals. Then we have these rules that everyone should abide with, which is level 6 months waiting period. And then if you are not able to live beyond 6 months, unfortunately, you won't be able to be assisted. Again, insurance companies are not supposed to use money they haven't earned. That is why I'm saying if a person dies within 3 months after having paid for 6 months, they are up for that refund of the extra 3 months, because insurance companies are not supposed to use money they've not earned. We only earn money once the period lapses, right? We can't even buy fat cakes with that money because it's not ours. We're keeping it for the insured for such a time that amount becomes due, and we pay for them. Sometimes in our accounting, we talk about an unearned premium reserve, but that's story for another day. We cannot use that money, and unfortunately, if the rules do not fit your description in terms of losses, you cannot be assisted.
But nonetheless, Mr. Zwane, we encourage our policyholders to pay in advance so that you don't default. You don't come to a circumstance where you have to, you find yourself, you have defaulted because other circumstances in the meantime have taken over. I think this is a discussion we had last week with Mr. Gundani, the ULA operations manager. Thank you, Mr. Zwane. Simpiwe, any more?
We have one question, but we have already responded to it on the comment section. Looking at the time, we are already past 7, which is beyond the time that is stipulated for the program. Otherwise, the client was asking if we do require a medical test, which of course Mr. Eswatini has actually got to respond to while he was responding to another question. But in any case, thank you so much, Mr. Eswatini. Thank you so much to our clients that have been with us throughout the program and have been interacting on the comment section. Do look out for the questions for this week so that you can have a better chance to probably win our gift, the award for this program. We are going to be uploading the video on our YouTube channel, and it will be available. This one will be available here on Facebook, just in case. Whichever channel that you prefer, you can actually use it to watch, to just recap on what we have been talking about. The good thing about YouTube is that you can, recap all the episodes from episode 1 up to the 7th episode, and just get to find out more about what we have to offer and what you need to know. Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to find out, especially from Mr. Simelane. Unfortunately, he couldn't stay throughout the program about the COVID-19 vaccines. There are so many myths that are going on around, but we did get some clarifications about how it works and all about that. And at least I also found out that one can actually go and test without paying in the government institutions, as long as you have been exposed. You don't just wake up in the morning and say, no, today I want to go and test for COVID, and then you go and test and say, I heard that it's for free. No, there has to be a reason why you are testing. Probably it could be that you have been exposed, or you are feeling certain symptoms in your body. Then you can visit your nearest government institution, health institution, to get tested. Otherwise, thank you so much, gentlemen. Mr. Pere, your last words, sir.
Thank you, Simpiwe. It has been a pleasure having Mr. Simelane, on this show. He has been a special guest from the Ministry of Health. Unfortunately, we lost him, like you said. We would have liked to hear his final words, but I believe we have added into the social database some of the questions and answers as well that people needed on COVID-19. As for Mr. Eswatini, he's our in-house expert, and he is responsible. United is the general manager responsible for operations across all the business units under United Holdings. It has been a pleasure to have you with us, Mr. Eswatini. We look forward to our next interaction, which I am sure will be soon.
Thank you, William. Looking forward to it as well.
I think we should now have him as one of the hosts of the show. He's here more often compared to other guests, other in-house guests. Thank you so much, Mr. Eswatini. Have a wonderful evening. Do join us next week, same time, 6 p.m. We are giving away prizes on a weekly basis after each and every program. Do stay tuned even next week and send us your questions that you may want us to answer. Our contact center is available from 8 o'clock to 5 p.m. on our toll-free number 800-1010. You can call them and ask any question that you may have. We have our WhatsApp number next to me right here, 7808-8050. You can send us a WhatsApp. We'll be able to attend to your question. Otherwise, it's all from me. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to all our viewers that have been with us throughout the show. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.